Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. On our way out, I actually picked up some signs and on our way out to a listing appointment here in Kingston. I actually just got my wisdom tooth pulled up here. My face is kind of not numb anymore, so I can speak. But I want to do this video, get right into talking about this. And if you know me, if you watch my videos, talking about sleazy stuff, shady stuff, right? The old magician, like, look over here while I'm doing it over here, which is just, it's really sales training. If you go to YouTube and, you type in how to be a better salesperson, right? And there's all these people out there that just teach you, literally, they are teaching people on how to take advantage of you and me. I've been heavily against that sort of business model. Even though I'm in arguably sales, real estate and insurance, I've just been completely against it from day one. I've tried to expose it. I've tried to show you all the shady things that agents do and say in order to upcharge you commission and try to get you to sign stuff before you should. Like right now they say, oh, you got to sign this buyer's rep. Not true. You can sign a touring agreement. You don't have to sign a buyer's rep. That's one of the biggest things that's happening right now in real estate. But boy, I seen a shady, just sleazy scumbag move this weekend. So we went to Lake Tahoe with a bunch of friends. We ended up snowboarding one day and actually snowmobiling the first time, which is really cool. If you've never been to Lake Tahoe, I've had the pleasure of being in all 50 states. It is amazing. The views are incredible. But we went out to eat at a really nice restaurant, and just full disclosure, I don't like nice restaurants. Give me like a Mexican and Texas Roadhouse and like a low-end hibachi. I could probably eat those three things and never eat anything else. I'm not a foodie, never been, but a lot of people wanted to go, and it's cool, different environment. Was like up at the top of the hotel, so had really cool views. But of course, comes a really nice restaurant, comes very, very high-end price tags for stuff that otherwise costs like 20% of the cost. But it is what it is. You're kind of paying for the experience. I will say the wait staff, they were amazing as far as the service. It was white glove, great service. So I'm not complaining about that. But we had an individual with us, another friend who gambles a lot and has a lot of perks. And so when the check came, a very, very hefty check for everybody, he actually picked it up on his reward credits for his gambling. And of course we were all, trying to pay him back and for everybody and, try to just give him cash and stuff. Well, the waiter brought it back and was like, hey, your reward credits is able to cover the entire bill except for the tip. And I didn't hear it at the time, because I'm trying to give him paying attention to people, and we're trying to discuss who's paying what, how much we should owe him and pay. So, we feel better about ourselves. And so I didn't hear it. But then it got he got the check over there and they're like, yeah, the waiter said that it didn't include the tip, but then on the check, it literally says 18% gratuity. And we're talking, this is a $2,000 check, which, so at that point ended up being gratuity was, or with gratuity included there is $2,000. I think gratuity was $300 on it. But the way he said it, and the way that we interpret it, and we actually asked again, we said, hey, does this include your tip? And he says, no, it includes tip. But I'm sitting there and it's a clearly paid for $2,000 and it has gratuity on there and it has 18%. And so we were like, well, crap, I guess they can't take reward points and use it for tip. We're all confused, and nobody was being transparent with us from the restaurant. So it's well, gosh, we do need to leave a tip for them, and they were great, and obviously had a huge bill. And so we essentially put down $400 cash for the tip, thinking that we didn't pay the tip because that's what the waiter said. Well, the next night, we ended up going to kind of just a medium level place. It was an Italian place. Italian place isn't super expensive, but it was a good restaurant, but still in the same hotel, on a different side. But again, cool experience, really good food. And they brought the check there. Well, the guy did the same dang thing and was like, hey, let me pay for it. Of course, the check wasn't near as much. And so he brought it, done the rewards. They said, hey, yeah, everything's taken care of except for the tip. So I was like, we got to clarify this, right? Because I had been uneasy about that whole experience. the night before. I'd been just very uneasy. I was like, we got shafted. I even told people, I was like, we got conned. I'm telling you, basically what happened is that is a sales pitch, because what they're saying is, hey, that does not include tip. What they're doing is they're distinguishing gratuity. I don't know if I'm even saying that word right. I feel like I can't say it. Gratuity and tips as being two totally different things, when in our eyes and most people's eyes, it's exactly the same. It goes to the wait staff. But the play on words, and this is where you got to watch salespeople where they get real shady and crafty, is, well, technically that's not tip. It is gratuity. It's like an auto charge. So it's not the tip. A tip is an additional. And so the server there was a young lady, and we just said, hey, just want to make sure, like, the gratuity goes to you, right? That is that goes to you. It is paid here. You are getting that. She said, yes, absolutely. So I was like, okay, so obviously that's our tip. And she kind of went back on and admitted it came true. It's like, yes, well, that counts as your tip. So obviously we didn't tip additionally because they were auto taking that out. But boy, it really just ate at my soul and pissed me off, because this con artist, now again, service was great, but man, what just a shafty move. And he went from a $300 tip all the way up to a $700 tip. I mean, granted, we were there for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. Get great time. But oh my gosh, I was furious. And we even talked about going back over to the restaurant talking, but you gotta think this is, the point is, like, this was trained. This is trained from management. This is trained from corporate. I don't know if we're corporate, but I'm just going to assume, right? This is a trained thing for wait staff to make more money. Just like everything in that you're dealing with in life, you're pretty much always being sold something. There's usually commission on there, and just this play on the words, when it's a sleight of hand and you're taking advantage of other people, I'm completely against that. That's why real estate wise, we're like so upfront with sellers and buyers and how the money works, and where every penny goes. And I think that's really where the world is going. People want that type of experience. They want that type of transparency, because you've probably been sold timeshare at some point in your life, and you're just sick of it. You're sick of the used car salesman type slang. But yeah, I was super mad, and I was like, man, I'm going to write this down and do a video on this, because I hadn't seen a move like that done in a long time from a waiter. So keep in mind, if you ever go, I can't remember if it's 6 or 8 people, if you eat somewhere with, and they'll do the auto gratuity, which is fine. I don't mind that. But if they come back to your table and look at your bill and they say, oh, everything but the tips included, just look at that. Gratuity is the tip.